Alright, hey guys, this is Sensei from Game Over, and I just want to talk for a few seconds, a couple of minutes, about the Suicide Squad movie. And but before I do that, I want to give a quick shout out to Team 7 Element, my gaming team, for all the hard work they've been doing, putting in the work trying to get us more viewers and try to get us more sponsors. So big shout out to Team Element or 7 Element, and the founder of the team, Team 7 Element. He's been working really hard and gotten us 4 good sponsors so far. So look for more up and coming stuff from 7 Element. Also, a big shout out to Divvy Rewards, who's been freaking awesome over the past week. And how you doing? I'm not sure if this is Heather, but how are you doing? But anyway, yeah, Divvy Rewards, helping me give out free comics to people. So we've got 3 more weeks for that, all the way to September 2nd. So you guys should get out here and get your free comics. If you want, you can also look up Divvy Rewards on their website to show that they are very legit, and they stay in contact with me often. And I know a lot of people question things like that, and you're worried about getting a bunch of ads and all that stuff. But Charlie, how you doing, man? I figured it might be you, but I wasn't sure. But a lot of people feel, think it's going to be obtrusive, but it is the complete opposite of that. It's not obtrusive at all, and they don't give out your information to other companies. They don't spam you with a bunch of nonsense, and they are very legit, and their end goal is basically to go viral. They are a big company who's doing great things, especially for a small business like mine. So come in, download the app, check them out, get your free comic, help support Game Over that way, and I can show you exactly how easy this process is. All right. Now, having said that, the reason for my stream is to talk a little bit about Suicide Squad without giving away any spoilers. So I have to be very careful what I say. So if I'm talking slowly, it's not because I think you're dumb. It's because I'm making sure I don't give away any spoilers. But the first thing I want to say about Suicide Squad is that it is definitely better than the other Suicide Squad movie. The new one was way better. It's not even in comparison. Now some people don't like it, like Gillen here. I think he doesn't like it. And I have my pros and cons about it. But for this one, there are more cons than pros, or more pros than cons. Sorry. For this one, there are more pros than cons. For the other one, I can't even think of any pros for that movie. That was one of the worst. Well, no, it's not the okay. One of the worst superhero movies I've ever seen, hands down. And with me being a comic book enthusiast, especially the older comics from the 80s and 90s, and been a fan of the old Suicide Squad comic books, when I see a superhero in a movie, especially teamed up with other superheroes or supervillains, I like to see them capitalize on their abilities, because that's what their abilities are for. For example, if I see Hydro Man in a movie, I don't want to see him just standing around, shooting guns. He is called Hydro Man for a reason. And the reason he's called Hydro Man is because he's like Sandman. Oh, Hydro Man wasn't in the movie, by the way, but this is just an example. If I see Sandman in a movie, I expect to see him turning into sand and huge sand constructs and, capitalizing on his ability. Hydro Man, same thing. If I see someone in a movie like Heat Wave, for example, a hero or villain named Heat Wave, I expect to see some fire. I don't want to see Heat Wave shooting guns and throwing knives. I expect to see fire, because that's why he calls himself Heatwave. So in the first movie, Captain Boomerang, you would think somebody with the name Captain Boomerang would be really good with boomerangs. But in the first movie, he was not good with boomerangs. In fact, I don't even know if he caught one of his boomerangs. I think he used them as blades, and he might have thrown 2 of them. But the point is, there was no point in having Captain Boomerang in the movie if he wasn't going to be called Captain Boomerang. Now, that's movie 1. Back to movie 2. There's a lot of good things about this movie, and I'm trying to mince my words carefully, but there were some things that I did not like. This is more difficult than I thought. All right, there's a few things I didn't like about the movie, yes. But the story was great. The character representation was great. I'll tell you, one of the things I didn't like about the movie is that they had some lame characters in this movie. If you Google lame comic book characters, you will find some dumb concepts. You will find, for example, there's a character called Codpiece, who's a villain, and he literally has a gun on his junk. But he's called Codpiece. Literally a big cannon strapped where his junk is, and that's where he shoots the cannon from. But he's a legit super villain, you know, an older one, yes, but legit super villain. There's another character called Crazy Quilt. And also not in the movie, by the way. But Crazy Quilt has a costume made of patches of different colors, right? Like a quilt. And if I'm not mistaken, because I couldn't stomach reading a lot of his backstory, but if I'm not mistaken, he has this psychedelic light, different lights that he uses to cause different moods and different reactions or something like that. But anyway, you can Google lame comic book characters and you'll see all these characters. Or you could watch Suicide Squad 2 and you would see some very lame characters in Suicide Squad 2. But the good thing is they somehow made it work. They somehow made it work. They somehow made the lame characters work. And so even though they were lame, I wasn't wholeheartedly disappointed. Okay? Everybody knows that Harley Quinn is in the second movie as well. And let me tell you that they made her character, they represented her character very well in this movie. Right? There's a scene with her, a fight scene with her. Well, I guess you could call it a fight scene with her. And it is probably one of the best fight scenes I've seen with Harley Quinn. Alright? And they definitely capitalized on her being crazy. I mean, anybody who falls in love with the Joker, there has to be something wrong with him. And so they actually made that part of her character stand out pretty well. And let's see, somebody says, I have to put Birds of Prey in front of it. No way. Birds of Prey was horrible. That was a horrible movie, Dylan. Shame on you. That was a horrible movie. Someone says, and that lame character part is what got with me. Other things worth mentioning in person. The first one had solid characters, even with the questionable Joker. The first one did have some solid characters in it. There were still a couple of lame characters in the first one, but again, they didn't capitalize on their abilities. In the second movie, even the lame characters, Lord help us, they actually did capitalize on their abilities. So again, they made that work somehow. There was a character that really stole the show. I'm sure you guys know who that is. I'm not going to point it out because I want you guys to see the movie without any spoilers. And let's see, what else can I say about the movie? They had a I think was going to work, but again, they made that character work. The villain of the movie, I should say, they made him work out very well, right? But I wasn't sure how they were going to play that off, but they played it off pretty well. And so my overall take of the movie was that I liked it, but I didn't love it. I liked it. It's not one of my favorite superhero movies or supervillain movies. It wasn't in my top 5, but it could very well creep its way into my top 10. All right? So that's my take on the movie. And overall, like I said, it was by leaps and bounds far better than the first one. That was my main thing, is if they bombed on this one, then they had no hope. So my main takeaway was it was better than the first one. They played the characters to their letter, and it was an overall good movie. All right, so that's my little take on it. You can agree or disagree. If you have any questions or comments, you can DM me on my social media, any of my social media, or you can comment on the live stream if you see it. Actually, that's all I have to say about the movie. I don't want to give anything away. The more I talk, the more I'm worried about giving spoilers. So there you have it, folks. Suicide Squad 2, better than the first one. Overall, decent movie, and I liked it. Okay? So, without further ado, let me just give another shout out to Team 7 Element, my gaming team. Let me give a shout out to Divi Rewards, who's been very, very supportive to Game Over, and I couldn't be more appreciative for the support that you guys give and what you're doing for small businesses and shops like mine. I can't be more thankful. So thank you. And thanks to everybody who's watching. Check out any of my social media. Friend me if you haven't already. Friend me on Twitch and follow me so that you can see some of my gaming streams and content like this. And until then, until next time I see you, you guys be safe, take care, and as always, I love you. This is Sensei from Game Over.